This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. Welcome to episode 288. Hey, Mason, why should we never mention 288?
Because it's too gross?
It's too gross, yeah. Hi. You're welcome, David.
Wow.
I'm your host, Walling. Yay. I think it might have been for the first time in 2024, which will air in 2025. So you're welcome. Today's game will be pitting the Benchwarmer team of Markkus and Mr. Dougherty with versus Benchwarmer Mason and returning player Matt Coleman. Hey, welcome back to the bench, Matt. Take a minute to remind us where you're from, what teams you root for, and anything else you would like our lovely listeners to know about.
Hi, my name is Matt. I live in the Seattle area, originally from Kansas. I root for all the Kansas City sports teams. I also think this might be my first time in 2024 to air in 2025, so I'm in good company with Walling here.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Mr. Mason, how are you doing? And let us know what you guys' team name is going to be.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. In the throes of midterm exam week, which is always a fun time of having students beg for bonus points at the very last minute. It's like, yeah, I want to pull my D up to an A. No, that's not going to happen. Sorry, it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's a fun time of all of that. You'd be surprised how many people think they can do that magically overnight. Anyway, but otherwise I'm fine. And as far as our team name, neither Matt Coleman nor I are good at team names. So we decided to pull an old Walling special. I picked the first thing that I sent Matt Coleman. I asked him any idea for a team name. He said he's bad at team names, which kind of confirmed where we're going to go with this. So our team name is going to be, any idea for a team name?
This won't confuse our listeners at all. Markkus, Matt, how are you guys doing? And Markkus, is pulling a D up to an A one of your pickup lines?
Ew.
Ew.
No. That's if I want to get punched in the face. I just say that.
As soon as Mason said that, I was like, my eyes opened up like, really? Okay, we're just going to let that slide.
Just for Markkus. Cool. Just for Markkus.
I'm good. Yes. Thank you for asking, not Eric. Markkus has our team name, so he can talk about what's going on in his world.
Oh, that's it?
Did you want me to say more? I think I divulge way too much on this podcast.
No. Yeah, probably. Yeah. We all do. We've all said things on here that are personal lives, and it's like, I'm like, I don't know that needed to be discussed, but that's fine. I'm doing well. Been back to work for a while, which it was like cool to get back to it, and now I'm like, oh yeah, it's a job. So but I'm not complaining. And we're about to go on Christmas break, so that's exciting. And yeah, just excited to be here with all of these lovely gentlemen. And our team name, very topical, very divisive, I suppose. But Matt and I would like to announce to you guys and all of the Benchwarmer listeners out there that we are in the transfer portal.
It's all because Belichick is at North Carolina now, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, we're going to transfer to North Carolina, and I'm going to go live at Dan's house.
All right. Well, we have in the transfer portal versus any ideas for a team name. And with that, let's kick it over to Post-Christmas Dan for the rules.
The game will consist of 4 quarters of play, each with different trivia style. The styles of quarters 1 through 3 will change from show to show, and I will explain them as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the second quarter with entertainment questions. And in the fourth quarter, our teams will wager from their points accumulated to see who are today's clipboard captains, to be honored like the true benchwarmers they are. All right, let's get this game underway.
All right, before we get going in this, the third quarter is going to be an absolute treat, and I will let everyone know that I did not know who was going to be on this show before I wrote this round. So stick around for the third quarter at least, or fast forward.
It's going to be all Seattle Seahawks rushing leaders.
It's just Marshawn Lynch is the answer for all of them. For today's first quarter, though, we will have flop, turn, and river.
Flop, turn, and river. For this quarter, there will be 3 questions consisting of 5 clues. The first 3 clues will be given before the teams decide if they want to check in with their guests. The last 2 clues will be given one at a time, with teams deciding if they want to check in with their guests after each subsequent clue. If a correct answer is checked in after the first 3 clues, the team will receive 50 points. After the 4th clue, 30, and after the 5th clue, 20.
Question number 1 in flop, turn, and river. Who am I? Clue number 1. I was born in 1895 to a family of Czech Bohemian immigrants. Clue number 2. I played 12 games in the outfield for the New York Yankees in 1919. And clue number 3. I was named the Rose Bowl MVP in 1919 while representing the Great Lakes Naval Station team.
Yeah, we're going to take another one. That's what we're going to do.
All right. Any ideas for a team name? What would you guys like to do?
Yeah, it's really hard to narrow down Czech Bohemian outfielders for the 1919 Yankees that were in the Rose Bowl. There's so many bouncing around in my head right now. So, yeah, I think we're going to take another clue.
All right. Clue number 4. I was on the NFL 100th anniversary team, the NFL 1920s All-Decade team, and my number 7 is retired by the Chicago Bears.
Hey, Eric, I think we're going to check in.
All right. In the transfer portal has checked in. So any ideas for a team name? Talk it out.
I mean, I feel like I should know this. I'm usually pretty good at old things. I don't know. The answer that I sent you, it rings a bell that he might have played baseball professionally, but.
Well, we can talk it out. You can say the name.
So I suggested Red Grange.
Yeah. My hesitation is the college. I feel like, maybe he did go there.
That school also might be known as something else now. So.
Yeah. I mean, the time frame kind of works.
Yeah, because my guess is the Great Lakes Naval Station team could now just be like the University of Chicago or whatever. And I think that,
right.
He's a Chicago person. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not 100% certain. I mean, we can take one more and nail it down.
Yeah, because it's only 10 points. And honestly, I'm trying to think like, okay, what would be the giveaway clue for this? If it's not like, okay, it's Bears player, old timing. I just like, what would we need to know about him kind of thing? Unless it's somebody else.
Like the galloping, the nickname, I guess is.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Because like all the guys I keep thinking of are too late. Like Bronco Nagurski was a name past my head, but he's later. Sid Luckman's way too late. Like just guys that I can think of for old timey Bears. It's just none of those guys are working for me. So.
Yeah, they're all 30s, 40s. Yeah, he's the only person from the 20s maybe that I could name as an NFL player. So that's the only reason.
I'm okay with taking one more if you want to secure it because we're not really feeling great about it.
All right, we'll take one more.
All right. Clue number 5 in first flop, turn, and river. I won 6 NFL championships as the head coach of the Chicago Bears to go with my 2 as a player for the Chicago Staleys. And I am the namesake for the NFC Championship trophy.
It's a good thing we did not go for it then.
Yeah, I'm glad because he was not on our radar. So this is George Halas, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. I don't really think of him as a player, but I guess that makes sense.
Very early on, we did say that this might end up being a coach. That was the twist. So
yeah, because it was baseball player to really obscure college in the Rose Bowl. Like it had to be something kind of more notable about this guy. So, but yeah, we'll go with George Halas.
All right, and in the transfer portal.
Yeah, we also checked in with George Halas.
All right. Both teams are receiving their points. The correct answer was George Halas. Halas hurt himself, had a hip injury in 1919, and claims to have been succeeded by Babe Ruth, but in reality, he was succeeded by Michael's great-grandfather, Sammy Vick. I'm not sure of that lineage. Do not quote me on that.
Probably not, for various reasons.
Judging by the Wikipedia picture, definitely not.
I think I'm also going to just start asserting I was preceded by George Herman Ruth. Just random things and make people call me out on it.
All right. On to question number 2 of Flop, Turn, and River. Who am I? Clue number 1, I was selected in the 19th round of the 1979 MLB draft by the New York Yankees. Clue number 2, I have 6 career Grand Slams. Clue number 3, I have won 9 Gold Gloves as a player and 1 Manager of the Year after my playing career was over.
We'll check in.
All right. Any ideas for a team name has checked in, so transfer portal gentlemen, you can talk it out.
The time frame, the Gold Gloves. I don't know about the Grand Slams, but the first thing I thought was Don Mattingly. Did he win Coach of the Year or Manager of the Year with the Marlins or with the Dodgers? Probably with the Marlins, right?
I mean, I don't know, but I think it's fair to say that he's won one.
I mean, if you would have told me he got 6 Grand Slams, I'm like, sure. Sure.
Yeah, the time frame matches.
I actually would have thought he would have been drafted earlier, like 77 or 76, but 79's fine. I mean, his heydays with the Yankees were 83 to, 90, right? So, I mean, that's right in his sweet spot.
Sure. I don't have anything else that's really sticking out.
You want to go with that, or do you want to take another one?
How confident are you?
I don't know, it just seems to line up. I mean, I'm not confident at all. It just seems like it makes sense. You know what I mean? Especially the Gold Gloves. I mean, he was a beast at first base.
All right, then let's do it.
Okay. We're going to check in with Don Mattingly.
I will read you the other 2 clues. Clue number 4. All 6 of my Grand Slams came in the same season in 1987, setting the single-season record that still stands today. And clue number 5. In an episode of Seinfeld, I split my uniform pants because they were made from cotton at the behest of George Costanza, but I'm probably better known for when Mr. Burns demanded I trim my sideburns on The Simpsons. And the correct answer was Don Mattingly.
Also, we didn't say our answer.
Mason sent it to me by brainwave, so I knew what their answer was.
It was funny because you clued in on the Gold Gloves and the draft working out, and the only thing I thought about was the Grand Slams, and we both knew that he hit 6 Grand Slams in one season and then never again. So literally the only thing we talked about.
Yep.
Funny.
Yeah, that was the graphic that I saw pop up on Instagram at some point that I have saved. And it was it's like all the list of his career. It's Grand Slam 000000006 MLB record 000, like just for the rest of the time. So that one cracked me up.
My saved Instagram reels would land me on like a watch list.
All right, on to question number 3. Who am I? Clue number 1. I appeared in the movie Dallas Buyers Club as a bartender. Clue number 2. I was the backup quarterback behind Major Applewhite in 1998. And clue number 3, in 2004, I became the first player to hit a home run in an MLB game that landed in a different state.
Eric, we're going to check in.
All right, in the transfer portal, it's checked in. So any ideas for a team name? You all can talk it out.
I thought Major Applewhite was Texas, but you said Texas A&M. So I'm trying to think.
It could be Texas. You might be right about that.
The only reason I know I feel pretty good about that, he's from Baton Rouge area. Like he might have been born in Baton, or I think he played high school here. He's from this area, so I know a decent amount about him.
Okay.
So if it's Texas, we're looking at Texas backup quarterback in '98. I have no idea. That's like Ricky Williams' time. I have no idea who their backup quarterback was.
I don't either.
But the baseball in a different state, the only place I could think that could be possible, my first thought was Cincinnati because it's right by the Kentucky border.
That makes sense.
So it's possible it could have it wouldn't have landed, but like maybe bounced off of something and then landed in Kentucky. Like it wouldn't have landed directly, but it's close enough that it could hit off like a building and then,
Sure.
I'm assuming this is going to be a Cincinnati Red. Otherwise,
that's a real tough clue.
Right. I mean, I might be way off on this, but that's the only city, baseball stadium I could think that could conceivably that could happen.
I mean, that would make sense.
Just geographically.
Yeah, I was trying to think if somebody was playing in a different stadium in 2004. That was why it was the first time it had happened. If this was like a team that had to play somewhere else because of...
okay, I see yeah.
I am going to need an answer or a decision now, gentlemen.
I think we're going to have to take another because we don't even have a name. We have pieces,
Yeah.
but not even a name. So
We'll take another.
All right. Clue number 4. I share the record for most home runs on opening day with 8, but I also sit fourth on all time on the list of most golden sombreros with 14.
So we're looking for a guy that strikes out a lot
Yeah.
and also hits home runs.
So you were saying the Reds, is this like Adam Dunn maybe?
That would fit because he's a big like 3 true outcome kind of guy. Like he home runs or strikeouts pretty much. That's all he does.
Yeah.
And walks, but mostly home runs and strikeouts. So I don't hate that.
I had no idea he was a college quarterback, but I guess it makes some sense. I mean, I could see it, I guess.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I don't know. Dallas Buyers Club doesn't do anything for me. That clue is just useless at this point.
Yeah, if you were to give me a list of 100 people that were in Dallas Buyers Club, I would not have put Adam Dunn on that list. But I mean, I guess.
He could pass as a bartender. I could see it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, the age seems about right. It's weird. There's like 2 Texas clues, and then he has no other real connection to Texas. But
Yeah. So I don't mind because I feel like we have enough to get us there. I think everything lines up to Adam Dunn. So I'm okay with going for it. If you want to take a 10-point sacrifice and confirm it, it's fine. But it just seems kind of like leading. Everything leads that way for me, at least.
yeah, I don't know. We should probably take a risk on this one.
Yeah, because we're trailing, and they checked in early too. So
Yep.
okay, yeah, I'm good with going with Adam Dunn.
All right, we'll check that in.
All right. And in the transfer portal, I will actually let you give me your answer instead of giving the last clue and other things.
So I was thinking of stadiums like Mason was where you could do that. The other one I thought of, and I'm not quite sure what direction it points to, but couldn't you do that in Kansas City too? You could hit it out of Coffee.
It's not that close to State Line Road, unless it got
okay.
onto I-70 and went quite a ways west.
Oh, I see. I thought it was like right next to it. Okay, I'm wrong.
You'd also have to have somebody on the team that could hit a home run in 2004, so that was the real problem.
Yeah, so I said Kansas City or Cincinnati in 2004 made me think Adam Dunn, and Marcus was on a couple other ideas, but so I threw that out there to see if maybe that clicked with him, and he said let's do it. So we did. We checked in with Adam Dunn also.
All right, clue number 5. I am third on the all-time strikeout list. I had 7 consecutive 38 homer seasons, and I am a member of the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame. The correct answer was Adam Dunn. So both teams are getting points. So he hit a home run out of Great American Ballpark. It went 535 feet. It bounced and landed on a piece of driftwood that was on the Kentucky side of the Ohio River.
Oh, jeez.
Yep, that makes sense.
So yeah, it was the first documented to have hit a ball into another state out of that bandbox. And I think it's still one of the longest, if not the longest, home run at Great American Ballpark in that park's history. After the first quarter, we have scores of any ideas for a team name with 100 and in the transfer portal with 130.
We wanted to let you know that we are on Patreon if you'd be interested in supporting us financially. Your contributions will be used to help us cover the costs that it takes to bring you the high-quality sports trivia you have come to expect from us. There's also some great perks that come with the Patreon membership to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, including bonus episodes and Benchwarmers swag. You can find us at patreon.com/benchwarmerstp. Thanks.
Today's second quarter will be 5-on-3.
Five on 3. For this quarter, there will be 3 categorized lists containing 5 items, where each item is worth 10 points. The teams will attempt to guess as many items as they can. However, if a team has an incorrect guess, they will receive 0 points for that list.
List number 1. This was inspired by Marcus's most recent list of the most expensive contracts in franchise histories. I would like you to name me the sports franchises that have issued the 5 largest contracts in sports history.
5 on 3. For this quarter, there will be 3 categorized lists containing 5 items, where each item is worth 10 points. The teams will attempt to guess as many items as they can. However, if a team has an incorrect guess, they will receive 0 points for that list.
List number 1. This was inspired by Marcus's most recent list of the most expensive contracts in franchise histories. I would like you to name me the sports franchises that have issued the 5 largest contracts in sports history.
Eric, we're going to check in with 13 answers. So,
All right. Well, we will parse those shortly. Any ideas for a team name? Talk it out.
Yeah, I'm not really 100% sure what to do with this.
Yeah, what to do with the soccer teams? I mean, right off the bat, I said Mets and Dodgers because those are for Soto and Shohei.
Yeah.
And those are in the we're talking about 700 plus for both. Because Soto was 760.
60. Yeah.
Ronaldo's Al Nasser. I don't remember where his was, but his was super, super high up there. And I'm assuming. So I remember Messi having a big one. It would have to be Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
And the only other one I threw out there that we don't think, but for some reason I thought his was $500 million was Mahomes, but I don't know. Maybe that's not high enough on the list to get there because it was some sort of I don't remember how it was structured. It was a weird structuring to it, but for some reason I thought his was $500 million. It was the first $500 million one. Maybe it got passed by this point.
Yeah, it is right around $500 million with, a bunch of incentives included as well. But like I said, I don't know if that's enough. I mean, it could be.
Yeah.
I just have no sense of the value of the soccer ones is the hard part. I mean, this could be the 2 baseball teams and 3 soccer teams.
Okay, so we're going to go the Mets, the Dodgers, Barcelona, and Al Nassr.
Right. In the transfer portal?
all right. So we also went with the Mets and Dodgers. But then I stupidly forgot that the Messi contract was with Barcelona, that he had the huge one, and I thought he had a huge one with Inter Miami. So I said Inter Miami. So we screwed that one up.
So the top 5 by total value contracts issued. Number 1, very recent, Juan Soto and the New York Mets for $765 million. Number 2, the LA Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani, $700 million. Number 3, Barcelona, Lionel Messi for $674 million. Number 4, Al Nassr, Cristiano Ronaldo, $536 million. And number 5 was mentioned is the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes at $450 million. So slightly above Karim Benzema. And you are right also that both of them are very short-term contracts with ridiculous average annual values. Ronaldo is $536 million for 2.5 years. Benzema is $447 million for 2 years. So not a bad gig if you can get it as a small consolation prize, if there is one here. That with the TV rights and all the other stuff that went along with what MLS gave Messi to come over, it might eventually be worth that much, but this is the just face value of these contracts. So
Sure.
Well, I'm glad they're looking out for him.
yeah, he's just really struggled to make money in his life. Poor guy. All right, list number 2 should be slightly easier. Give me the last 5 unique Big Ten schools that have lost in the finals of the NCAA Men's March Madness basketball tournament. And no, this isn't Oregon came over and is now in the Big Ten. These are traditional Big Ten schools.
We're going to check in.
All right. The transfer portal has checked in. So any ideas for a team name? Talk it out.
The hardest part about this question is trying to remember all of the Big Ten teams because they've all lost in finals. Yeah, I mean, I feel like those are right. I know all of the years, they're all since 2007, so they've got to be those. It's got to be those 5.
Yeah, because Michigan State's the one that goes furthest back. Right.
Ohio State goes the furthest
Ohio
back.
State, yeah. Michigan State. Wisconsin's 2015. Michigan was 2018. I think we said Purdue was last year.
Yeah. Ohio State was 2007, I think.
Yeah.
And then,
Illinois would have been before that. You said 05.
Yeah, that was right after Bill Self left Illinois. Was his team. And then
the rest of them wouldn't be close.
It's got to be those 5.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and check it in.
All right, we will check in with Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State, Purdue, and Wisconsin.
All right, in the transfer portal, what'd you have?
We also checked in Purdue, Michigan, Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Ohio State.
Both teams will be receiving all of their points. Well done, everyone. The order, Purdue in 2024, Michigan in 2018, Wisconsin in 2015, Michigan State in 2009, and Ohio State in 2007. So since 1989, I want to say, they've been in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 finals, and they've won 2. There was also, as mentioned, Illinois in 2005, then Indiana in 2002, and then go all the way back. The last time they won, 24 years ago, Michigan State in 2000. Final list for this round. I would like to see for you all to name 5 players in NBA history after Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that made the all-defense team as a rookie. There's 2 hints to come with this. Number 1, none of them are guards. And number 2, all of them but one was a first overall pick.
Ooh. Oh, I hate this.
I'm gonna capture that audio.
Oh yeah,
there was a
very
Marcus
unconscious one. I'd lost it.
I will add a little hint here. I think the farthest back this went, I guess, is the oldest one on this list is 1986. Let me double check that. 1984 is the oldest on the list.
We'll check in.
Any ideas for a team name is checked in, so that leaves the transfer portal to talk it out for about another 30 seconds or so.
Okay, so I mean, we did come up with 5 names. You just want to go with those and screw it because I don't feel great about. I wish there was at least one of these that I felt like super like 1000%, and I don't even feel that good about it.
I agree.
All right, let's do it. We're gonna check in, and the 5 names we're checking in with are Anthony Davis, Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Yao Ming, and Hakeem Olajuwon.
All right, and any ideas for a team name?
We just went with the 4 we think were the number 1 picks that would have fit this. So the first one I thought, because Walling said inspired by recent events. So Victor Wembanyama was the first one that I thought of. Matt said Duncan and Olajuwon. Olajuwon would fit for 84. And so Duncan led me to David Robinson. So we're hoping he's the 4th one for the number 1 picks. And we have no idea about the other one. I think it's going to be some random name that we're not going to expect because 4 number 1 picks, probably just be some 5th random guy. But 4 we went with were Wembanyama, Duncan, Olajuwon, and Robinson.
One team will be receiving their points. Hakeem Olajuwon, yes, was the 1984 name. Tim Duncan won was on the all-defensive team his first year. David Robinson was on the all-defensive team his rookie year. And Victor Wembanyama was on the all-defensive team his rookie year. And the 5th player on the list, who was neither a first-round pick nor a first overall pick, Manute Bol was a all-defensive team player as a rookie when he led the NBA in blocks his rookie year. So Manute Bol was the 5th one.
Yeah, I heard number 1 overall pick and just stopped there. Stopped listening. Not a good idea.
Well, don't you worry, Marcus. There is yet a round made perfectly for you coming up. So going into halftime, we have scores that have resulted in a lead change. In the transfer portal has 180 points, and now in the lead with 230. Is any ideas for a team name? And that brings us to halftime.
It is now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions. Each question is worth 25 points.
I don't know who's going to have a leg up on this one because I got in a Reels and or YouTube rabbit hole because I stumbled on a old Meta World Peace interview clip and it made me laugh very loud. And so I decided to do a little, call it Mad Libs, with Meta World Peace quotes. This is Complete the Quote Meta World Peace Edition. I gathered the most ridiculous Meta World Peace quotes I could find and came up with multiple choice questions for you to fill in the blank. See if you can fill in the blank like a madman. Quote number 1. Having a record company and putting out my own CD. There's clothes and there's shoes. There's also an upcoming book deal I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be positive. I'm a big fan of blank. Is it A, writing stuff, B, the Nobel Peace Prize, or C, cookbooks?
We can check in.
All right. Transfer portal has checked in. I don't think there's much to talk out, but any ideas for a team name? Talk it out.
Well, here's my logic, or anti-logic. The only one that doesn't make sense is B. because he's talking about book deals, and that's the only one that doesn't involve writing. So that's my meta world peace logic, would be pick the one that doesn't involve writing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Because there's no way for us to come up with a way to figure this out. So I'm going to go with the Nobel Peace Prize as our answer.
All right. Maybe for the first time in Benchwarmers history.
On Benchwarmers history, yeah.
Yeah. All right. And transfer portal?
Yeah, this is absolutely him saying I'm a big fan of the Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, this one was pretty easy. I've definitely seen this before. So yes, we'll check in with B.
Both teams are receiving points. See? Just think like a madman and you'll be just fine in this round. He is a big fan of the Nobel Peace Prize. It doesn't make any sense. Don't try to make it make sense. Question number 2. That might have been the quote that actually got me down this rabbit hole too. So, question number 2, or quote number 2. I didn't even know who was coaching. I didn't care. It could have been blank. They could have had the blank coaching. I was coming here regardless. Is it A, Aunt Jemima and syrup? Is it B, Big Bird and Muppet? Or is it C, E.T. and Alien? This is really the halftime equivalent of the people in the big inflatable balls running into each other. It's just mindless fun here, folks.
I feel like this is how my calculus students view their midterm exam. And they're like, I don't know what's going on. Just pick an answer.
I think I'd rather take your calculus midterm than this halftime round, but
probably the first time that's ever been uttered. I'd rather take my midterm than answer trivia questions.
Did I convince you?
You're calling my friend.
We're gonna check in.
All right, for reasons we'll probably find out about shortly, we have the transfer portal checking in. So, 30 seconds or so to not think this too hard about this. Team name?
Oh, there's no worry about that.
We both had Big Bird jump out, but Aunt Jemima seems like a funnier answer. Imagining a bottle of syrup coaching a team just seems more absurd.
If it's not syrup, it should have been syrup.
Okay, we're gonna go with Aunt Jemima and syrup respectively as the blanks.
All right, and transfer portal. What'd you have?
Yeah. So Matt said B or C, right? And I said, yeah, that kind of makes sense, but that's why we need to go with A. And then he said, but the grammar doesn't make sense for A. And he actually put the words in with the quote. And I said, that's why it makes the most sense. And that's why Matt started laughing. So we have also checked in with A.
Both teams are receiving their points. The correct answer is yes. They could have, it could have been Aunt Jemima. They could have had the syrup coaching.
Was he confusing with Mrs. Buttersworth? Is that what he's confusing? This is actually an anthropomorphic syrup bottle. Is that what they're trying to get at?
Yes.
Maybe that's who he meant.
Years from now, historians will look back and wonder what the true meaning of the Middle World Peace quotes were. All right. Absurd quote number 3. Blank only want to win championships. That's it. Injuries is not a focus. Trade talk is not a focus. Nothing is a focus. Blank is not a focus. Is it A, aliens and gluten-free pasta, B, warriors and groupies, or C, soldiers and war?
All right, we're going to check in.
Transfer portal is checked in, so any ideas for a team name? Talk it out.
I don't know. I mean, for some reason, A or C seems right. It's right to me. C is more on the nose, but A is more absurd. So I don't know.
I'll let you pick, honestly. You pick whichever one. I don't really care. I don't have anything. So pick whichever one you like.
C. We'll check in with C.
We haven't had C yet, so maybe.
I was also thinking that.
We haven't had C yet, so maybe this is C.
I'm preparing for your midterm. I'm on it.
There you go. Good job. You see, I trick him. I put 8 D's in a row. And Marcus, don't say anything. See, I need to pick a different letter because I picked that letter twice tonight. So I'll pick a different letter. I'm teeing up Marcus here.
You did. I can't now.
He disarmed him.
Yeah.
All right.
You caught me off guard.
Well, Trent.
Just like 8 D's and 8 D's.
All right. Well, transfer portal. What did you have that wasn't a D?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive. He said aliens only want to win championships. So we checked in with A.
All right. The full quote is, let me pull it up over here. The full quote is, I don't focus on anything else. Aliens only want to win championships. That's it. Injuries is not a focus. Trade talk is not a focus. Nothing is a focus. Gluten-free pasta is not a focus, which I would rather have gluten-free pasta. Hey, if I have to have regular pasta, it is what it is. I'm still going to try to win a championship. One team is receiving their points. It's the most ridiculous thing. Oh, man. All right. After halftime, the scores have gotten a little bit closer. Any ideas for a team name is still in the lead with 280 points, but in the transfer portal has closed the gap a little bit and is now at 255. Today's third quarter will be pre- and post-game Shannon Sharp edition.
Pre and post game. For this quarter, there will be 4 before and after style questions. For example, if I said, what all-time leader in receptions for the Indianapolis Colts was a Notre Dame safety drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, the answer would be Marvin Harrison Smith. Each question is worth 25 points.
So, since E decided to take liberties with the English language and put words that don't actually match up as pre- and post games, I decided to take it a step further and say all of these answers only work perfectly if you say them with a lisp, a pronounced lisp, like Shannon Sharp or Lou Holtz would. So here's an example to wet your whistle. This current Eagles wide receiver from Alabama is also the female swimmer who won 4 gold medals at the 2012 Summer Olympics. That is Devontae Smithy Franklin.
This is great.
I would like to think I had to send this to David. He was very proud. We'll start you off with what I thought was a slightly easier one in this. All right. Question number 1. This former Seahawks 5th round pick in 2011 was a 3-time first-team All-Pro defensive back and member of the NFL's All-2000s team, and is also a 2-time World Series winning catcher for the New York Yankees and 1976 American League MVP.
We'll check in.
All right. Marcus is losing it. Well, any ideas for a team name as checked in? Transfer portal, you can talk it out.
I'm lost on the first half, but I know that the 1976 AL MVP was Thurman Munson. So
Okay, that's perfect because I was trying to figure out how Cam Chancellor fit into this. So I think we can check in that with Cam Chancellorman Munson.
Munson. Oh my god.
All right. We will go over to, any ideas for a team name? What'd you have?
Boy, this is the first thing we thought of. Maybe this doesn't work anymore. Because what we came up with, I guess I don't know how the list part works.
I don't either.
We went with Richard Thurman Munson, but I don't know, but that's what we went with.
One team is receiving. Sorry, Marcus is cracking me up here. One team is receiving their points. The 2011 5th round pick out of Stanford was Richard Sherman, and so the Sterling Sharp pre and post game is Richard Thurman Munson.
I like yours too, though.
It is.
Sterling Sharp.
Oh, sorry, Shannon Sharp. Sorry, wrong Sharp. Yeah. Sorry, Sterling. I didn't mean to drag your name in the mud in this.
Marcus is done. He's done.
Oh, man.
Oh, just wait. It gets better.
Jeez.
Oh, man. All right. Question number 2 in Lou Holtz and or Shannon Sharp pre- and post games. This 2021 76ers first round pick out of Kentucky and 2023-2024 NBA Most Improved Player is also the former MLB general manager responsible for breaking the curse of the Bambino and the curse of the Billy Goat.
And that works for the.
Does it? I can see the
does.
two answers again.
We're gonna check in.
Okay. In the transfer portal has checked in. So any ideas for a team name? And Matt is having a minor existential crisis. So you guys can talk it out.
All right. Well, we worked back to front because I couldn't remember the Kentucky guy's name. But the second half is Theo Epstein, and I finally remember what his name was because he's one of the best players. Because Embiid's always hurt. Is Tyrese Maxey. So if we put this together, it would be Tyrese Mac Theo Epstein. So that's what we're gonna go with.
Okay. And transfer portal, what did you have?
We had the same thing.
Oh, come on. You don't want to say it?
It's fun to say.
I feel like we're abusing Marcus right now.
We're exhausting his limit for this.
Having a tough time breathing.
I will say the last question of this round is the one that I came up with first, and it made me laugh the hardest. So I'm excited about
Marcus, he wants you to say it. Go ahead and say it.
Tyree. Well, I feel like I have to say the first name with it too. Tyrese Mac Theo Epstein.
Mac Theo.
Both teams are receiving their points. Well done, everyone. Good lisp talking.
Sweaty.
All right. Yes, it was Tyrese Mac Theo Epstein, if you really wanted to enunciate all of the lisps possible in there. All right. Good job, everybody. Question number 3. This is a doozy. This member of the NBA's 50th and 75th anniversaries teams won 3 championships as a member of the Lakers and 1 NCAA championship at UNC, and is also the 1977 Triple Crown winning horse and one of 2 Triple Crown winners to have a U.S. city as part of its name. I got to stop looking at the screen when I'm reading these.
Yes, that's what I was going to send you. That works. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
We're going to check in while half our podcast is absolutely losing it right now.
All right. I'm pulling it together. I'm a professional broadcaster.
No, you're not.
All right. Good.
I don't know what goes with Seattle Slew. James, oh, okay. That makes sense.
The wheezing is just is getting me now. It's the greatest round I think we've ever done on this podcast.
We're in Seattle. We're checking in with James Worth Seattle Flu.
Oh my God. What did the other guys have?
Keep it together.
Well, it's together now. Come on.
Okay, sorry.
Walling, we got a show to do.
Professional broadcaster Eric Walling back to report from the scene. Any ideas for a team name? What did you have?
Matt actually had this one all the way, so you have it.
I'd like there not to be a recording of me saying this out loud.
So I have to say it. I'm going to be the scapegoat here.
You are.
Okay, that's fine. So yeah, we went with the same thing. James Worth Seattle Slew.
Both teams are receiving their points emphatically. The correct answer was indeed
Marcus
James.
is gone. He just left.
Marcus just decided to check out. James Worth Seattle Flu for 25 points all around. Well done.
25 points, but at what cost to our dignity?
At what cost?
Yeah.
I love it.
But what did it cost you? Everything.
Everything.
Everything, apparently. We're going to get canceled after this episode. This is our last one, I think.
Well, that's what Ede gets for Taylor Lawrence Taylor, or whatever he did to us that one time.
Yeah.
Question number 4 in this ridiculous category. Whose idea was this anyway? This current AFC North tight end from Penn State was drafted in the second round of the 2021 NFL Draft and is also Markkus has disappeared
legitimately did a spit take before you even got through the first half.
I just need to I'm putting my hat down so I can't look at the screen.
Power through.
I'm wondering where this is going to go. I already know where this is going with him.
All right, the current AFC North tight end from Penn State was drafted in the second round of the 2021 NFL Draft and is also the 2004 All-Pro Carolina Panthers receiver from Michigan State, who holds the record for the longest touchdown reception in a Super Bowl.
Markkus can't control himself. Yes, oh my God, that is awesome.
We're going to check in.
All right, transfer portal has checked in once again. So, any ideas for a team name? You talk it out.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about this one because first half is Pat Fryermuth. Markkus is about to lose it for me saying the rest of it because it works so well.
It's so good.
And the second half has to be Mushin Muhammad. So, oh boy, here we go. It's going to be Pat Fryermuthin Muhammad. I think is how we're going to have to do that. So that's what we're going to check in with.
All right. And transfer portal?
Matt, you said the nurse told you that you can have clear liquids and you got to listen to what the nurse says, dude. But we're gonna check in with Pat Fryermuthin Muhammad.
Yes, the answer that popped into my head in the car the other day that was the impetus behind this round, the correct answer, both teams gave it, was Pat Fryermuthin Muhammad. Say it with a big tongue like you're Shannon Sharp, and it's fun.
Muthan Muhammad.
Muthan Muhammad. Good job sussing it out, everybody. That was fun. And now my abs hurt. Oh, man. At the end of the third quarter... At the end of the third quarter. Yeah. Right. Third quarter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Third quarter. Yeah. We have scores of in the transfer portal at 330. Any ideas for a team name at 380? That brings us to the fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter, known as Put Your Fours Up. This quarter consists of 4 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total.
The categories for today are as follows. Question number 1 is Mason's favorite key. That's an F1 question. Question number 2 is CNC Musack Factory. That is NFL. Question number 3, so it's not just a clever name. That's a Major League Baseball question. And question number 4 is Power 4+1 bias. And that is a college football question. It is now time for the team to place their wagers.
We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks.
Now that the wagers are in, on to the questions. Let's get it going here, gentlemen. Question number 1, Mason's favorite key. That is an F1 question. Starting in the 2025 season, Lewis Hamilton will be spending his first year in a non-Mercedes powered car. What team will Hamilton be joining next year? It is the most successful team by Constructors' Championships in F1 history.
We'll check in.
All right. The transfer portal has checked in. So, any ideas for a team name? Talk it up.
Ferrari, maybe?
Yeah, I was thinking Ferrari. McLaren is one I can think of off the top of my head. Fancy cars that I can't afford is all the names. They're all just cars I would never own in my life. Just rich people cars.
Yeah, Ferrari. We'll check in with Ferrari.
Yep, for every single point that we wagered, which was a grand total of 0.
All right. And transfer portal?
Well, I would rather check in with something like Thubaru, but
No.
we'll go with we checked in with Ferrari for 0 points.
Well, I wasted a question, but both teams are getting 0 points for that. The correct answer is Ferrari.
Hey, look at us.
Let's see. They have 16 Constructors' Championships, and that is given to the team that has the most overall points combined for their two drivers. The next closest team, I believe, has 9. And you mentioned McLaren before, but weird twist. McLaren was Hamilton's original team, but they are powered by Mercedes engines, and they have always been like a Mercedes sub-team. So technically, he's been in Mercedes his whole career to this point. Good job and terrible job, both of you. Question number 2 in CNC Musack Factory. In 2023, what former SEC defensive lineman became the first player in NFL history to lead 2 teams in sacks in the same season?
We're keeping that going, okay.
Yeah, we can check in there.
All right. We will have the transfer portal as our check-in, and I believe that any ideas for a team name was close behind.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought we checked in. Sorry. Whatever. Okay. What's going on? Do we say our answer?
Yes, you say your answer. They checked in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was gonna say. Okay. All right. I didn't notice. Okay. Yeah, I accidentally sent this to Walling, but because I have my chat turned for the point values. But yeah, for this was last year. The big trade was, well, I guess not big trade, but it was trade from the Bears to Commanders and Montez Sweat, who played at Mississippi State. And because both teams were really bad at pass rush, he somehow led both of them. So we checked in Montez Sweat for 100.
All right. And transfer portal.
Yeah, we also said both. I mentioned it first, but I think you already had it in your brain, Marcus, before I even. You knew it when he was reading it. So after the second, third, and fourth time he read it. But yeah, we said Montez Sweat for 100 points.
I will not penalize you for your shot at my professional broadcasting, but both teams are receiving points. Indeed, CNC Musack Factory, because he's going to make you sweat. Till you bleed.
Yeah. That's what I
can be. It'll make you sweat.
Sweat till you bleed. Is that dope enough? Indeed. All right. The point values have changed, but the difference between them has not. So we will move on to question number 3. That is, so it's not just a clever name. In an April 17th, 2024 game, Red Sox pitcher Tanner Houck completed a rare feat. A Maddox game, which is a 9-inning shutout with less than 100 pitches, with 9 strikeouts in a game that took less than an hour and 50 minutes to complete. Who was the last pitcher to accomplish that feat? Doing so in an August 1995 game against the St. Louis Cardinals.
We will check in.
All right. Transfer portal is checked in, so you have a few minutes to talk it out. Any ideas for a team name?
All right. So let's spend this time figuring out why it's not Greg Maddux. Because it feels like it has to. I mean,
so it's not just a clever name. That's the category title. So is this one of those? It's like on Jeopardy when they have stupid answers where the answer's in the question. Is this one of those?
I thought that was the third quarter.
Hey.
Let's see what you did there.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry. I meant halftime.
Yeah. That was also this whole second half is just getting ridiculous.
This is why you guys don't let me host.
Yeah,
2025 for you. End of 2025 for you to host again.
So I mean, Greg Maddux did this so often it was named after him. So like, if we don't pick him, it's just picking another good pitch. I mean, it could have been like Tom Glavine. Like he could have done it. And that's why it's funny because it was a teammate or John Smoltz or.
Yeah, but if the time frame screams him like for someone to do that, it's just.
Yeah.
And you said he won the Cy Young in '95.
Yeah, I mean that's
about the right time for it.
Yeah, I think he won it in '92 through '95.
So,
I mean,
I don't have anything better, and the category title makes me think that it's going to be just clever name because he's the last person to do it, so they named it after him. 'Cause I know of other pitchers that have pitched a Maddox by itself. It's just I think the other qualifiers exclude that. So, yeah, that's
Yeah, I
my
don't.
guess. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just have to go with that, right? Like, it's either that or
Yeah.
pick just another random pitcher from the 90s. Like, Kevin Brown had a really good year, but I don't think you're just writing a question if that's the answer. Like, I think you only
Right.
write this if the answer is Greg Maddux.
Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that.
All right.
So-
We'll check in with Greg Maddux for 100
100
points.
All right. And transfer portal, what'd you have?
Yeah, Marcus and I were pretty much came to the same conclusion. We're like, I mean, the title of the category was so it's not just a clever name. So we figured, well, he's probably pointing us back to Maddox. So Greg Maddux for 1,000 points that we don't have, but so we just wagered 100.
Well, points on layaway. It is Christmas season. That is offered usually. Both teams are receiving their 100 points. Well done. You sussed it out. It is indeed Greg Maddux, who is the last one to accomplish this in 1995. He leads Major League Baseball, not surprisingly, with 16 Maddoxes in his career. Second place. Anybody want to give it a shot?
Mark Burley? What was the name that I had thrown around my head? I was doing it a lot, but
Zane Smith. Zane Smith.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, terrible old Braves pitcher Zane Smith weirdly has 9. So the Braves have the most of any team in Major League Baseball. There were 4 thrown last year. Tanner Houck's was the most impressive. The only 10 inning or 9 inning plus Maddox was thrown by Roy Halladay. 99 pitches and 10 innings. A 10 inning shutout in 2003. Both teams got their 100 points, and so the scores changed, but the difference didn't. So that brings us down to the ultimate question. All right, question number 4 is in Power 4 plus 1 bias. The Heisman Trophy winners list has been dominated by current Power 4 schools plus Notre Dame in recent history. Help me prove this point by naming the last Heisman Trophy winner not to come from a current Power 4 school or Notre Dame.
All right, we will check in.
All right. Transfer portal has checked in for the final time, which leaves any ideas for a team name to talk it out one more time.
okay. I just had a wild idea for what this is. This is going to go back a ways. Because I was thinking of non-Big Four schools
I mean, I have
led me to like.
I have a
Sorry?
thought as well.
Okay.
So let me hear yours first.
I was thinking Roger Staubach for Navy.
That was also the person I was thinking of. I was trying to think of a service
Okay.
academy person.
Right, because you're thinking like Independence or because the Mountain West and all of those are not going to have anything like really to offer for that. So yeah, I thought I was because Notre Dame was making me think Independence going about it that way. I mean that puts us in the early '60s. So the question is there anything since then? But I can't think of anything that's a more obscure school that won. Because since like in the 70s and 80s, you have a lot of like USC and Archie Griffin back to back, and
Yeah.
just I'm not thinking of anybody.
No, and they don't. Every school I keep thinking of, I was like, no, they are now in a power conference. So it's
Yeah,
hard
because
to,
we had BYU, that's Big 12. Houston is now Big 12.
And then I was just thinking Southern Methodist, but they are also now a power Big Four school.
They're
So
ACC. Yeah,
it almost has to be one of them.
this would have been a really easy question. If
It would have
went that
been.
way. Name the last Heisman winner not from Power Four. It was just the one that won a couple days ago. Yeah, I don't have anything. I can't think of anything more recent. All the names I run into don't work.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about the 80s were wild because there was a bunch of teams that were just like good for a little bit and then just disappeared. So I was trying to think if there was anybody in there.
Yeah, I can think of some weird 80s ones, but they're like early 80s George Rogers from South Carolina. But
Right.
that's obviously SEC. Yeah, they had some weird ones in there. I just keep coming back to that one because
I mean,
at least
we both came to that answer independently.
Right. We didn't even. Yeah, we sent nothing to each other because we bounced around BYU and Houston before remembering they're both Big 12, and so then I'm okay with it because we're both on the same wavelength for it. And if it's something else, we're just missing it completely.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that it would be. I think it almost has to be one of the service academies. So I don't know. I'm good with Staubach.
Okay, yeah, making sure. Okay, last Heisman Trophy winner. I was just making sure it wasn't school. Okay, so we're gonna go with Roger Staubach, 400 points.
All right, and transfer portal. What did you have?
Oh man, I led us down the wrong path because I completely forgot that Houston is now in the Big 12. So I landed on Andre Ware, and then after I started thinking, I went, "Oh my God, they're one of the teams that they would want in the Big 12 and did get in the Big 12." So yes, incorrectly, we checked in with Andre Ware for 100 points.
One team is receiving their points. Yeah, I checked this list, like I said, back and forth, and I could not believe how far back it went. When you start taking new Power 4 alignment into account, it is the 1963 Heisman, won by Roger Staubach at Navy. And right before that, the 1962 is a now non-Power 5, non-Power 4 school, and that is Terry Baker at Oregon State. So technically 2 in a row before you start getting back to other ones. But there was...
Matt reminded me about Houston. It slipped my mind at the beginning.
There's that. There's Ty Detmer at BYU. Mm-hmm. There's, you got Flutie. I guess Boston College has been in the ACC for a long time, but, and then I couldn't remember if Louisville was in the ACC at the time that Lamar Jackson won. But that was another one that was kind of an outlier school. But everything else is pretty much a traditional school plus Power 4 school plus Notre Dame. So in the transfer portal finishes with 430 points. And our clipboard captains of the game who are receiving the newly minted and coveted Kirk Cousins Award with 680 points is, any ideas for a team name?
Good job, guys.
Yeah. Mr. Coleman, thank you again for joining us tonight. Thank you for being a valuable member of our Patreon team.
For Patreoning. We appreciate it.
For Patreoning.
Thank you for Patreoning.
Patronusing.
Patron, is that a clear liquid like beer?
It is, yeah. Matt, add that to your list.
There you go.
Anything else you want to say before we call it a night?
Yeah, I think there's only one thing to say, and that's that aliens only want to win championships. So I feel like we succeeded.
No gluten-free pasta to be had here.
All right. Well, on behalf of Mr. Dougherty, Mr. Ellis, Mr. Mason, who has done a wonderful job. Yes, he's Mr. Mason. That's who I'm calling him.
I don't get everybody else's last name, and then mine's just...
Well, you said you didn't want kids to call you Mr. Gyat, so I didn't want to call you that on the show.
Okay, fine. Well, it already happened. So.
All right. And me, Walling. I'd like to say thanks for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, and until next time, we'll keep the bench warm.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes! Yeah!
Into deep left center for Mitchell, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at BenchwarmersTP.